Ever since I've been following MobTube and certain former organized crime figures, I've been noticing that some of them, after they ran out of stories to tell, they decide to pivot and go to other places. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but some of the places that they decide to pivot to, you have to really question as to why they would go in that direction. Case in point, Michael Franzese. Now, I've been familiar with Michael Franzese since he was first interviewed on Vlad, and when he mentioned that infamous remark about the Sopranos, if a mob boss was to go to his therapist, he'd be dead at the end of the week along with the therapist. I'm just paraphrasing that. And I followed Michael Franzese because I really liked his mob stories and his take on mob movies and mob TV shows. But when he started going towards the political side of things, I just lost interest. And I lost interest because Michael Franzese, with all his claim of being a Christian and all that other stuff, he comes off rather pretentious. And as I think back at his videos, particularly the ones where there's race involved, I can pretty much tell that race is an uncomfortable conversation with Michael Franzese. And, and as I think more and more about it, I think Michael Franzese may be a closet racist. Now, some of you may look at this video and want to jump in the comment section and defend Michael Franzese and say, well, he's not that way. Everybody's that. See, those are one of the clues that gives that away when they said everybody's that. And I just been following the patterns, and you don't have to believe me. Go and watch the videos where Michael Franzese is talking about A Bronx Tale. Go and watch the videos where he's talking about the many saints of Newark, and other videos where it has to do with race, and you'll see the pattern there. He's uncomfortable talking about that subject, much like with drugs, which he continues to be a hypocrite on because the mob was involved with drugs. And like he said, well, if you deal, you die. Well, Michael Franzese, how come Matthew Madonna is still alive? He lived long enough to become an acting boss of the Lucchese family, and that lasted for a brief time, and now he's behind bars doing life. So how come Matthew Madonna dealt drugs? He was Nicky Barnes' plug for a time. He was the council's plug, and then later he became the boss of the Lucchese family. So how come he's still alive? Shouldn't he be dead? And I'm sure there are others. I mean, you had the pizza connection. Some of them people are still alive. How come they didn't die? So when you hear Michael Franzese say, well, during my time, I think that was true for Michael Franzese. But it seems like with the other families, they were more lenient as far as that goes. And dealing on the DL, okay. But when it was revealed, how come certain members of those families or associates continue to still be breathing? That just doesn't add up or make any sense. But it seems like none of these interviewers are willing to go there or do a deep dive into that. They just let Michael Franzese do a Dorothy Hamill on those questions. I just don't understand that. But let's get back to Michael Franzese and politics. To me, as a convicted felon, it makes no sense that a person like himself with his record would go and have a vested interest in the political process. He does that under the pretense that, oh, well, mobsters were the most patriotic people in this country. When, in fact, this country, as far as mobsters go, they were quick to lock you up. They were quick to do surveillance and launch investigations on you, but yet you guys are patriots. And I understand you guys just, people like Michael Franzese say, well, it was they were just doing their job. We have no problems doing their job. But as I look at it, they just come off as hypocrites. I mean, if you're a convicted felon, you don't have the right to vote no more. So why would you care who's in office? And understandable, you're no longer a part of that life, so to speak, and you pretty much capitalize off of it in order to get the views and generate the revenue you need for your social media or your book signings and appearances. But why do you care who's in office? But as I look at his channel and his catalog, some of the videos he did are rather suspect. I mean, he went and interviewed Larry Elder about race. You talk to Larry Elder, then you go on and talk to the two people that were involved in the Jussie Smollett thing. And I mean, other than Ice-T, some of the things that he would talk about as far as race and black people, you have to look at and question. Okay, Michael Franzese isn't an upstanding guy like he portrays himself to be. So when I hear him on Vlad talking about the election was rigged and election conspiracies and the borders and all that stuff, it'd be interesting to see what his view is 6 or 8 months from now when Trump is in office again and he's doing what Trump does. It'd be interesting to see if he feels the same way 6 or 8 months from now. So I'm gonna do a follow-up video and see if Michael Franzese still holds the following views, because Trump didn't finish his wall, and I doubt he will finish the wall, and that the borders are going to be safe and sound and locked down. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't have faith that's going to happen. And drugs are still going to be an ongoing issue because like it or not, there's a demand for fentanyl and all these other substances. So as long as there's a consumer base for those kind of things, you're still going to see people wanting to smuggle over the border to get it to their consumer base. It's a no-brainer case. And as long as you have personnel that have a propensity for greed, or they're not getting paid enough or whatnot, you're still going to have people that are going to want to drift towards corruption. So all this is pretty much just BS to me. I mean, this isn't something that somebody in elementary school or junior high couldn't figure out if they did their homework on this. So overall, I think Michael Franzese is just, when it comes to politics, he's just full of shit. That's the impression I get with this. And I just think that Michael Franzese is a closet bigot. So, I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. Most of you won't, but he just gives off that vibe to me. But anyway, audience, tell me what you think. Let me know in the comment box. This is Iron Will Media.